everyone to Skills Connect, a series where we have conversations with bold and responsible change makers who are reinventing work in their organisations. I'm Jacinta Newman, workforce strategist at Reejig, and today I'm joined by Dr. Shujia Zhang, who is our Chief Tech and Data Officer and also one of our co-founders at Reejig. We're exploring in today's conversation one of the biggest challenges that our CPOs are facing: understanding a workforce in flux. Welcome, Shujia. It's so great to have you here. Can you share with us a little bit more about your journey whilst you've been at Reejig?
Thank you, Jacinta. I'm so excited to be here today. So my journey so far has been truly fulfilling. Coming from an academic background, I spent a lot of time doing research, working with benchmark data sets and trying to improve results by 0.0 something to publish papers. Well, it was valuable, but I was so keen to work on something that could have a real, tangible impact. So before Reejig, I had a chance to work at a startup from its early days and growing with the company as it transformed from a tiny startup into a fully established business. Those were incredibly rewarding years where I gained hands-on experience that gave me the confidence to eventually start my own venture. Starting a company is never an easy decision, but for me, it felt like a natural step, something I was meant to do. It all ties back to what I believe in and an experience that have shaped who I am. And first off, I deeply believe in the mission of unlocking zero waste potential that Reejig is aiming at, not just in people, but also in business and society as a whole. I generally think that when we align opportunities with untapped potential, including the incredible things that can happen in this case, and it's not just about cutting down on waste in unusual sense. It's about seeing the talent, the creativity, the possibilities that often get missed. So that's what drives me every single day. And I'm so lucky that I found people who share the same vision here at Reejig. When you work with like-minded people who are just like passionate about creating impact, it doesn't feel like work. It feels like the purpose. You know, you're building something bigger than yourself, something that could really change lives. But beyond the professional motivation, there is a deeply personal side to why I'm here as well, because my own journey has taught me, what it feels like when opportunities are not equal. Because as a foreigner and a female working in tech, I experienced that firsthand. It's frustrating, and then there are moments when you wonder if the system is even made to accommodate someone like you. But instead of letting those experiences hold me down, they pushed me forward. They made me more determined to create something that could make a difference to others facing the similar challenges. So what I have come to believe through those experiences is who you are, your gender, your background, your nationality shouldn't define your opportunities. What truly matters here is what you can do, the skills, the abilities, the tasks that you are capable of performing. Those should be a key. And yet I have seen how often that information is not visible, not to the organizations, and sometimes not even to the individuals themselves. People don't see what they are capable of doing because the structure around them don't make it clearer or accessible. So that's why the increasing the visibility around these things is so crucial. If organizations have better insights into what people can do, they can make smarter decisions, and individuals can also see more clearly how they can grow and where they fit in. So it's a win-win situation that benefits everyone involved. And so far, starting this company wasn't just about building a business. It was about creating a platform to level that playing field, to make sure the opportunities aligned with actual potential, not assumptions, not biases, not outdated norms. So it's about like opening doors that people didn't even know existed and showing them what's possible. Yeah.
I so love that. Thank you so much for sharing your journey, and I guess also helping to connect the dots personally, because you are so right. I think that many of us perhaps aren't aware of our hidden skills and traits, but if we're not aware, then how are our leaders going to be aware of that, and then how are businesses actually going to understand that to help make the right decisions for their businesses moving forward. So I'm absolutely with you, Shujia. So, as you know, I was head of talent at KPMG, and Reejig, I was actually Reejig's second customer. So back in the day before COVID. And so I had the pleasure of working with you and Siobhan and Mike back then. And, it was evident right from day dot first of all, I guess, how passionate you and Mike and Siobhan are as well in terms of really helping organizations to really lift the hood and understand who their people are and their workforce capabilities. But it was also super evident, in terms of the talent of this platform and what it can actually do. I spent the last 4 years working for a consulting firm and helping so many large, global organizations transform their talent strategies and their talent functions. And, I've worked with a lot of different tech stacks. And I can honestly say that in terms of Reejig, with its ability to really define the workforce capabilities through its unique workforce intelligence, is absolutely the best platform that I've come across. And hence why I'm here as well, really helping organizations to make sure that they're not wasting the potential that they have. So I feel incredibly privileged to be working alongside you and everybody here at Reejig. So yeah, thank you very much. But just a little bit more, I guess, about my role at Reejig. Obviously, being in workforce strategy, I am lucky to speak to some really knowledgeable leaders across various industries and organizations. And, I'm partnering with some key CPOs and other C-suite individuals. And I get to hear their challenges and their priorities, especially when it comes to, workforce strategy, AI, and sort of future capabilities. And it's really interesting as I have those discussions that there are key themes that emerge from those discussions across all different industries. And it's sort of centered around initially, how can we do more with less, especially in today's economic climate? And that comes back to three elements that I hear over and over again. Operational efficiency. How can we, do more with what we have and be more operationally efficient? Velocity. How can we get out to market faster? So speed out to market. And then how and where can AI or automation be implemented, which will naturally benefit those first two. So, and then when we think about those three elements, they all have a direct impact on our workforce. So, and we need to understand, I guess, our workforce, not just for today, but for the future. So, some companies have workforce strategies, but not everyone. So most have HR strategies, which is good, but all of a sudden CPOs are needing to prioritise a strategy that's focused on the workforce for the future and its capabilities. And I keep hearing these same questions, and the questions are all around, how can we better understand our ability to build a capable, strong, and impactful workforce that positions us for the future? That's the first question. Then the second one is how can we build a consistent methodology for predicting the future of our workforce? And the third question is, how do we ensure that we have the right organizational design principles and the global workforce shape so that we're able to identify critical capabilities to develop skills both for now and the future? So, it's really interesting questions that we're working to solve for. And I feel like we're in a really awesome space here because, when you then throw AI into the mix, nobody really knows how to shape their workforce and what it's going to look like. And so hence that's the reason for our topic today, workforce in flux. And so from where I stand and what I can see based on these amazing conversations, like we truly are looking at a once in a generation change to work. and our workforce. And this is bigger than anything we've experienced in our careers. And especially as everyone is so hyped up about, AI. And so, this is why I joined Reejig, to be having these conversations and to be leading from the start and helping organizations to navigate through these changes that we have never seen before. So what about you, Shuja? Are you sort of feeling the same way as me about this? Like what are you seeing?
Yeah. Oh, thanks for sharing first. And then absolutely, I feel the same way. The pace of the change right now is mind-blowing. And then there is no question that AI is a huge part of that transformation. Organizations everywhere are wrestling with those big questions that you just mentioned, how to adapt
Mm.
their workforce, reskilling the people, and rethink what work even look like, how to use AI to do more with less. So one of the biggest shifts that I have noticed is how we think about roles and skills. For a long time, we have looked at the roles like, say, data analyst in a really pretty static way. It was all about tools like SQL, Excel, and maybe some basic data visualization. Then you'd see also teamwork and communication listed as soft skills. And then that was it. That was it. That was considered good enough. But here's the thing, this kind of static thinking doesn't work anymore. The roles are evolving faster than ever, and then the skills needed to succeed are changing right along them, right? And then what worked 5 years or 3 years ago often just doesn't cut it today. So back then, maybe SQL, Excel were the go-to skills for data analysts. If you knew these skills, and you were set. But now the game has changed, completely changed. Today's analysts need a whole new toolkit, like advanced programming skills. Python is a must-have for automating processes, and then cloud expertise using platforms like AWS, GCP, Azure to handle massive data sets. And then data storytelling. It's not just about making charts or dashboards anymore. It's about translating those raw data into clear, compelling narratives that can help people make decisions better. And then the roles are kind of shifted from being a simple number cruncher to being a true decision maker, someone who connects the dots and turn the data into real world actions that really drives the results. And it's not just about the technical skills that I mentioned have changed. The soft skills have leveled up too. We are no longer talking about vague things like good communication. Now it's about presenting complex insights in a way that non-technical people can easily understand. It's not just teamwork, it's about collaborative problem solving, working across teams with engineers, product managers, and marketing to tackle that complex challenges together. So the bottom line here is roles like data analysts are constantly evolving. And then if we want to keep up, and we need to rethink how we define the skills. It's not about static checklists anymore. It's about creating that flexible, evolving framework that grows with that job, with the tasks involved there. So that's how we kind of stay relevant in this fast changing world. So what's exciting to do is that we're moving away from that static view of the roles and the skills. Instead, we're focusing on what people actually do in their daily basis. It's about breaking down the roles into tasks. So what are the specific tasks that someone performs? And what tools, technologies, interpersonal skills are they using to get those tasks done? And how do those tasks shift based on seniority or the type of work environment involved there? So by understanding that at this granular level, then we can pinpoint the exact skills needed for different situations. Yeah. So
I think
the shift we're seeing goes beyond just redefined skills or roles. It's about fully embracing the fact that the work is always evolving. Yeah.
Uh, I, I think you're so right. And, too many times I've been in conversations where key decisions have been made in terms of reskilling, upskilling parts of the workforce into roles that they thought would not be as automated. But because they've been basing these decisions on static and not dynamic data, after 12 to 18 months, those decisions are now not correct because the data hasn't moved,
Yeah.
and there's not been an understanding of those sort of future state skills and what that looks like. But I think I want to sort of just take a step back too, just around, and you absolutely touched on it around the traditionally how organizations have handled skills in org design and sort of the gaps that we found. Because not just around, our future workforce is moving so quickly, but as we talked about before, when you throw in sort of AI and automation, it sort of changes, it changes everything. And so, so many organizations have spent a lot of money and a lot of time in working towards skills-based frameworks. And skills-based frameworks are absolutely the right way to go. But to your point, there's definitely been a missing element. And so, so the conversations that I've been having have been, look, we've really driven transformational change to go towards this skills-based framework. But our matches between our teams or our employees or our workers to the actual work or the jobs, there's a mismatch. So, so the matches have been okay, but honestly, that they haven't actually been great. And so it's been really interesting as we've unpacked this. And, you and the team and, Mike and Siobhan spent a lot of time sort of, really brainstorming, like, why is this not working? Why is just a skills focused only framework? Why is that not working in terms of really beautiful matches? And I think something that I hear Siobhan come across a lot or say a lot, and once I sort of share this with customers as well, this makes sense. There's a missing piece of the work. So there is a missing piece to this sort of triangle. And I think, what you've just started to introduce is exactly that. So how do tasks sort of fit into all this? And when we think about it, people have skills, work has tasks, tasks need skills, but it's not the skills that can be automated. It's the actual tasks that can be automated. So I think this is where you guys are just genius, in coming up with the realization that we needed to dive deeper. We needed to go a level or two deeper to actually understand that missing piece and really work with organizations to define what those tasks look like. And once you have the actual task, or when you really understand the role, only then can you accurately map it back to the skill set. And only then can you map that back accurately to your workers or your employees or your workforce. So, first of all, thank you for the work that you've done on that, because I think that really highlights the understanding that with a deeper level of our work, we can far better match the work to the workers because we have a really clear understanding of those tasks.
Yeah.
So when
yeah, definitely sorry.
No, you go.
Yeah, because we touched on that traditional approaches, which is to understand the skills rely on static lists. And these are kind of often found in job descriptions, resumes, the organizational frameworks that aim to map out the skills in really like broad and generic categories. Well, these lists have their place still, but they fail to capture that full picture. Yeah, so that was the main issue there. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I absolutely love that. So when we think about the task-based approach, Shujia, like how does that help us align skills better for today and the future?
Yeah. So as I mentioned, the real problem lies in lack of that task level insights. Skills are not static. They evolve and adapt depending on the task people performs in their daily roles. By relying on that predefined skill lists, then organizations definitely miss out on understanding the actual capability of the individuals. And then or the opportunities that require, right? So these creates a blind spot in hiring, talent development, and succession planning. So instead of starting with like a broad skill categories like project management, let's rethink the process. Two people with the same role can be doing vastly different work. Take project management as an example. The project manager in software development, their focus is managing the agile sprints and collaborating with engineers, while a project manager in construction could be negotiating with vendors or coordinating on-site logistics. And their titles are identical, but their daily tasks and therefore the skills required are entirely different. What if we flip the approach? Like instead of asking, what's their role? We ask, what have they done? Did they lead cross-functional meetings effectively? Did they manage multi-million-dollar budgets? Did they streamline the workflows using automation? These are the task level insights, and they give us much clearer picture of someone's actual experience and capability. So by focusing on tasks, we can derive dynamic task-based skills that are far more precise and actionable than the static list. Another example, say product manager. A traditional skills framework might label them as proficient in product management. But what does that really mean? It doesn't distinguish between someone whose task involves managing a small internal project and someone who launched a high-stake customer-facing product in the competitive market. So breaking it down by the tasks reveals their true strengths, right? The product manager that led the product to launch for 10,000 plus users. Another one conducted in-depth user research and implemented findings to redesign a feature. These are vastly different contributions that paint a different picture of each person's capability. So this approach isn't just theoretical, right? For organizations, if lead to better hiring decisions and targeting upskilling opportunities and ability to align the talent more effectively with their strategic priorities. When you understand what people actually do, not just their titles, and you can place them in roles where they will definitely thrive. Yeah. And
So
then,
true. And can I, sorry to interrupt, but can I just share one thing? So as I've been working with customers on this too, right? So there's been some amazing feedbacks from so many different customers in terms of how the defining of the tasks specific to those roles, like the product manager role there, resonates really strongly with the business. So it's been really great, I guess, when we've had, our work ontologies taken back to the business for them to review, and all of a sudden the business are like, we've got a common language of work here now. So now, because you've mapped out all of the tasks specific to my product manager's role, I can now actually understand the mapping back to those skills. So, I think what we forget perhaps as HR leaders is that we're so well versed in the knowledge and understanding of skills that our business isn't. And at the end of the day, it's the business that owns work. So, so to be able to come to them with this common language of work, which is really showing them, here are the tasks for your product manager role, and that's how we've come up with these skills, is absolutely groundbreaking for our businesses and business leaders. So yeah, really, really exciting stuff. Sorry to interrupt you there,
oh, that's
Shujia.
fine. So yeah, I mean, this approach definitely makes sense, right?
Yeah.
But the real challenge is actually scaling it. So and then that's where the technology comes in. AI and machine learning definitely can help us gather that task level insights at scale. Well, whether it's by analyzing the people data, looking at a performance review, the job description, or pulling all these from people data systems. But it's not just about the tools, it's about shifting that mindset within the organization. Yeah, we
So
definitely need to move away from the old way. Yeah.
well, yeah, because those old skill-based frameworks on their own aren't working, right? Which is what we've just unpacked. But I
Yeah.
love where you're going with this conversation. And I'm just thinking maybe a lot of people listening are going to be thinking about this is all great. And, we're kind of mentioning AI and to your point, you've just said, how do you kind of scale this? Like, let's think about that. How can AI, I guess, help us identify those essential tasks for building out those future capabilities? How's that going to work?
Yeah. I think I can talk about our the work ontology setup. So I believe our work ontology is such a game changer. We designed it in a way for understanding roles and tasks in today's dynamic work environment. So at its core, our work ontology is like a roadmap. It
Mm,
starts broad at the industry level and then narrows down to job families, role groups, and specific roles. And this structured approach allowed us to dive deep into more details there. So each role group includes a variety of roles across different seniority levels. But instead of stopping at just defining the roles, we go a step further, and then that's where the tasks come into the play. So every task is tied to a role group. And then this
mm,
association gives us a rich layer of insights. The tasks are not just generic actions. They are specific and contextual to that particular role, to that particular job family and industry. And what we think is every task is categorized by the domain and it falls under, and then the specific action required to complete it. So let me give you an example. Take the task of, say, deliver a financial report. Now, this might sound very straightforward, but it's quite generic. But if you think a bit further, how this task is actually actioned depends on entirely on that seniority of the person handling it. So from
mm,
like for a junior analyst, writing a financial report might mean focusing on the groundwork, doing the research, collecting and digging through the raw data, and then compiling those initial insights. Their role is foundational, but crucial to the overall task. And then now the senior analyst steps in and then takes those insights and drafts the report itself. Their focus is more storytelling, weaving the data into actionable narratives. And then
yeah.
finally, a manager or an executive reviews that report. Their task isn't about the data or the narrative. It's about ensuring that report aligns with the company's broader objectives, validating the accuracy and making sure it's ready for decision making. So this chain of actions kind of defines this single task from
Mm,
research to writing to approval. So highlights something really crucial. Different roles contribute to a task in unique ways. And then their responsibilities are shaped by the seniority and expertise. And each task isn't just an isolated action, right? It requires specific skills to perform it effectively. And then the skills needed can vary even within that same task. Like the example I just mentioned, a junior analyst might need strong research skills and attention to details, while the senior one focuses on communication and storytelling. And our task model ensures that these skills and the responsibilities are not only well defined, but also aligned with that actual needs for that particular task at your level.
mm,
It's not about guessing what a role should entail. It's about grounding it in reality. Yeah, in the
mm.
real tasks that people perform every day.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
I absolutely love that. Some really great examples. Thank you so much. So can you take us through or at least highlight how AI can identify sort of routine tasks for automation? And also perhaps with our work ontology, what some of the workforce intelligence is that we can help companies to understand as a result of going through this?
Yeah, sure. That's actually the beauty of our work ontology.
Yeah.
So it's because it's not a framework, right? It's a dynamic system that reflects how work actually gets done. And then
Mm,
that's what makes it so powerful. So it's
mm,
obviously it's very crucial these days for us to figure out which tasks can be automated and which require human expertise for development. It always begins by like analyzing the task itself, not just as a whole, but as smaller components. So this let us identify some of the characteristics and then determine the best path forward. So some examples are repetitive and predictable tasks like data entry or formatting reports are definitely ideal for automation because they follow consistent patterns. And creative or complex tasks such as brainstorming ideas, resolving conflicts, empathizing are better left to human brains because they demand emotional intelligence and nuanced decision making. And similarly, structured tasks like filling out the forms, categorize things are easier for AI to handle, whereas unstructured ones requiring adaptability and problem solving are definitely still human territory. So if we take like customer support as example, when a customer logs a complaint, the routine tasks like entering the details into the system, categorizing the issue, definitely great for AI. But the complex part, understanding customers' frustration, de-escalating the conflicts needs human empathy and skills. So to make this really actionable, that's how we kind of design our work ontology in the way that we assign every task in the ontology with the AI potential score, considering the factors like what I just mentioned, routine versus non-routine. So is this task predictable or a variable? Structured versus unstructured. So, does it follow clear rules or demand adaptability? And then repetitive versus one-off. Frequent tasks are definitely easier to automate than those unique ad hoc ones. And then decision making and creativity. So tasks that need judgment or innovation thinking, definitely less suited for AI. So that's how we kind of assign the score. And then these scores can then be aggregated to give insights at different levels, the individual roles, the role groups, the job families, and even the entire industry. This is where the things get really interesting because by combining this AI potential with the data like headcounts, salaries, and task time allocation, we can calculate the financial and the time-saving impact of automation with that precision. Imagine, each task has a percentage of time spent on it, which sum up to 100% for a particular role. And then by automating the tasks with high AI potential, we can directly save that portion of that time. For example, if a role involves, say, 5 tasks, and then 2 of them takes up 40% of the time with high AI potential, automating those tasks would save like 40% of the role's time. And in terms of the costs, if the role salary is 100,000, that's potentially 40,000 saved. So this time and budget can then be reallocated to higher value activities like the strategic planning or innovation. I think another interesting insight is the task duplication. So this happens when there are 2 tasks across different role groups or job families are very, very similar. For example, a financial analyst and a project manager might both prepare the budget summaries. The tasks may appear distinct because different roles, but rely on the same skills, such as financial analysis and reporting. So here's the opportunity. If the tasks overlap, then why not just consolidate them by reducing the duplication? Because organizations can redefine those roles, streamline the workflow, eliminate the redundancies, and create them more efficient teams instead. So quick thinking could be like maybe a shared service team can handle that budget summary for both roles. And then we can free the financial analyst to focus on advanced modeling. And then the project manager can focus on the strategy. So yeah, so that's kind of how we tackle this within our work ontology. Hope that makes sense.
Oh, no, it really does. And working with some of our customers too, like the clarity that level of information can bring to them is just magic, right? So for them to be able to define workforce bloat or that sort of task duplication where they weren't aware that, to the example you gave, that those 2 people were actually both working, on the same financial report. That's actually happens, with our customers. So I think as I sit in my seat and I'm working through some of the workforce intelligence that a work ontology can bring, the moments of magic are all around, oh my goodness, we didn't know we had that workforce bloat. Or, wow, when we think about the three core things, operational efficiency, velocity, and where can we use AI, we can answer all of those questions using the workforce intelligence that you and your team have developed, Shujia, to help give them the clarity and the roadmap that they need in order to make those decisions. It is empowering, and it is magic. So yeah, I just think the power in this data has a lot of those sort of, I'm just going to use the so what moments, so I think it's probably, all around the why, or how can we use this information. And stop me at any time, Shujia, if you want to jump in. But I guess from my perspective, when I'm talking to CPOs and leadership, what it means for them is that, first of all, it's all about enabling them to drive this conversation with the C-suite from an HR or people on cultural sort of workforce strategy or capability lens. It's giving them the information to drive those conversations rather than the conversation being driven by the business. So these decisions, especially when it comes to AI implementation, it directly affects our workforce, right? So we want to be leading this bold conversation in a really responsible and strategic manner. And what you've developed, with those workforce intelligence insights, absolutely enables them to do that. And I've already mentioned, and you've spoken to it as well, around the reduce workforce bloat and understand the task duplication, increase the speed out to market, as you can then have humans focusing on what they do best. You can have humans focusing on the moments that truly matter. And also, I think the other piece of magic here is around being able to anticipate skills shifts over time. As roles sort of shift towards the future, and then, using data like this creates a really beautiful data set that is unique to every single organization to define those strategic roadmaps across the business as to how to prioritize areas of AI or automation in a really bold and responsible way. And I think also, using it to be mindful of the workforce and the individual workers, helping to define those career pathways for everyone, and ensure that no one is left behind, and that everybody is upskilled and reskilled appropriately and in a really timely manner. So I guess all around driving the workforce capability strategy, over a period of time. I mean, they're the things I see as to the so what, or what does this workforce intelligence bring, or what does that mean? Do you have anything more to add to that, or do you think I've sort of covered it?
I think I'm definitely super proud of our approach, but it's not really about cutting costs, right? It's about transforming how work gets done. AI takes over those repetitive tasks and giving the individuals more time to focus on meaningful and impactful work. It's definitely a win-win situation. And in the end, AI isn't here to replace people, it's here to redefine the work by identifying those essential tasks for automation and focusing on human efforts. It's something that really truly matters for us, right? And yeah, so when we think about the future of work, it's not just about smarter systems. It's about empowering people, like what you said, empowering people to do what they do best, innovate, connect, and lead.
Yeah. Totally agree. Thank you so much. A really good summation. Shujia, I've so enjoyed this conversation. Thank you so much for your time. I guess, when I reflect on this call, that really the things that I'm thinking about are, the incredible opportunities as HR leaders that we have to be impactful and responsible in leading our organizations through this once in a lifetime change with our workforce. I think that's probably the first thing. The second thing is how the use of data and workforce intelligence is a must in order to enable us to do this and to ensure that no one is left behind. And with what you just shared before, that we do have our people focusing on those human moments and, you know, those moments that matter that only humans can, can create impact on. So, you know, and I guess the third thing is all around how we as leaders can drive the workforce and AI transformation roadmap simultaneously, which means we're in the driving seat to turn a workforce in flux into a workforce with a strategic and a meaningful plan that truly is, I guess, aimed towards zero wasted potential. So I'm super excited and really grateful for you and for everything you and the team have done and for this conversation. So thanks so much, Shujia.
Thank you, Jacinta. I'm so glad to be here today, and then see everyone next time.
Absolutely. And look, if anybody would like to learn more or have any further questions, if any of this has sparked any interest or sort of so what or what if moments for you, please don't hesitate to reach out. Scan on this QR code. We'd be more than happy to book a personalized skills masterclass for you with your organization with either myself or our other workforce strategist, Nuno. So please feel free to reach out at any time. Thanks so much, everyone. Thank you, Shujia. Very, very grateful.